I will restart at the backlog. When we say backlog, that's not the real thing. It's a product backlog. So how do we feel that what's a product backlog? It's a list of little pieces of the product that we want to have in Agile in a strict order of priorities, just so we try to find the first value. What do we put in there? We strictly look at little piece of feature that we try to formulate from a user point of view. So you know the name of this little feature. They are called user stories. I'll get later on. There are variants about what you can put in a backlog, in a product backlog ideally. But I want you to put, so the idea is like what we want to achieve for that product. We want that product to be able to do this and this and that. And as a user, when I'm using the product, I like to be able to do this and this and this and that. These little pieces of user story, once we have them, that's all we need for a backlog. We're going to work consistently, do some of them in a run that you know that is the typical agile cycle. We want to work iteratively. We're going to get in a pace when we work. Our system of work is consistent among the project, no matter the direction. So we want to create habits and simplify our life by doing things almost the same way. Not the same thing, but almost with the same frame. So we just pick a little bit of user story, and over a couple of days, always the same number of days, so that could be a week, some do 2 weeks. At the end of that, so we accumulate, we take a product that we make iterative. It's not a straight line. We're not building the end product, we're building different versions of that product that are all better and better and better and better according to the backlog. And in the end, we had a piece of a product that we enrich. And what's important is that product, the quality of each little piece is, as much as we can, production ready. You got to put yourself in the shoes of the first agilist. That means we don't do bugs here. We don't do bugs. We try to get something that we know we don't have to look back whether it's working or not. It's working. And we see it the way it works. At the end of this sprint, we do a first thing that we call a sprint review. Sprint and iteration it's synonyms, right? It's just, you got different flavors of Agile. One is Scrum, and they call iteration a sprint. My point of view, it's a fun word, but this is not a sprint, sir. This is a marathon. So I don't like the spirit of the sprint. It's just an iteration. So we work like this. At the end of this, we do a sprint review that's mostly composed of a demo because we believe in actual product working. So we want to see it working and understand what does it give. And second, we put our indicator of progress. We update them. So we have a sense of progression. Some people talk about the story point, but that could also be like the code metrics, the test coverage and stuff like this. And it always followed by the product owner feedback to the team about the progress. All right. Product owner is the captain of the product. That's the first ritual. Once we did that, we get to a pause and we pause the work and we do a retrospective. We try to improve what we are actually doing and how we are actually doing it. So we look back at the way we work. We don't redo the match. We don't talk about the work. We talk about how we work. And from there, well, back to square one. And actually, the one little thing I mentioned is square one. Some people like to do what they call a planning. What's a planning? It's just a little forecast of what we're about to do. Do we need to get organized? Let's not step on each other's feet. The real point is to make sure that we understand the priorities. And for some people that need to know what is going to be ready soon, we give them a sense of that. That's it. I don't enter in the flavors. You got a stronger flavor on the planning, a stronger emphasis on planning on Scrum. On other systems that look at the work as a flow, you have less emphasis on that. But that's just this.